Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. So today we are back with the following list of topics to discuss. So let's start. The first and the foremost topic says about the India's labor force and national income data. So the post which was recently in news is based on the article What India's labor force and national income data tells us about job shiftings from agriculture. So, recently, two data released by the National Sample Survey Office and the National Statistics Office highlighted the process of structural transformation in the Indian economy, especially in relation to agriculture and manufacturing sectors. So today, based on this data on the total workforce compared to manufacturing sector, the agriculture workforce fell from 64.6% in 93-94 to around 42.5% in 2018, which was the biggest decline happened between 2004-5 to 2011-12. So since 2011-12, the structural transformation has slowed with the share of agriculture in employment not falling fast enough. And the share of manufacturing has dropped behind even that of construction and trade, hotels and restaurants. And for instance, in 2008, 17-18, the later construction and trade, hotels and restaurant sectors accounted for around 11.7% to 12% of the total workforce. So today, if you see about the graph and also on respective to manufacturing sector, we could see that unlike the agricultural sectors going in a decline, we cannot see that manufacturing decline is so much. So today, what needs to be done to increase productivity in agriculture? So see, productivity is a function of output per worker or per unit of land. So productivity is low in agriculture compared to modern manufacturing and services. So the average farmer earns less than his urban counterpart, and therefore to earn more, the farmer's productivity has to go up, which means producing more on the same land with fewer hands. So India has too many people in agriculture and they need to be enabled to find employment in other sectors too, which will in turn raise agricultural's productivity. So therefore today, such number of data are very crucial to analyze the Indian economic systems and respectively the transformation of India's economy from agricultural to manufacturing based and in some period of time ultimately going on to the service sector based. So you can see about the respective category of graphs that you can see in this particular chart giving agriculture, manufacturing and all in total. So therefore, this was in news just to say about the workforce that what India today have got and is which focused under which particular sector. Okay. Next, safe harbor clause in IT law. So what is this safe harbor clause? So we could see that recently the union government is drafting the Digital India Act of 2023, which would replace the Information Technology Act of 2000. So as per the report, a draft Digital India Bill 2023 would likely to be ready by early July 23. And according to the recent announcements, the government is looking to reconsider the safe harbor clause, which is a key aspect of cyberspace. So as per the safe harbor clause, social media intermediaries are not responsible for the content posted by the third parties on their websites. So such a clause allows social media platforms to avoid liability for the post and content made by their respective users. So the safe harbor clause was also reined in the recently notified IT rules of 2021, which mandates social media intermediaries to remove posts when ordered to do so by their respective government. So while presenting the potential changes introduced in the Digital India Act of 2023, the Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology noted that social media platforms own moderation policies, which will now be checked by extending constitutional protections for freedom of expression. So therefore, this particular act, that is the Digital India Act, would further cover other aspects such as artificial intelligence, deepfakes, cybercrime, competition issued, and data protection. So therefore, in brief, if I see about this particular law, we can see that the technological advancements that took place post the enactment of the IT Act in 2000 have posed some of the new set of challenges which have made it extremely crucial to formulate new legislation to address modern challenges. However, such an act should be drafted after holding extensive consultation with the stakeholders in order to ensure that it is future ready and also future. Okay, so therefore the concept of safe harbor came into prominence just to regulate the third media parties associated with social media. Okay, chalo next पे आते हैं. Antibiotic drugs administered on livestock cut carbon in soil and affect climate. So why this is all about? So in a study conducted by the Spiti region of Himalayas by the researchers of the Center for Ecological Sciences, Indian Institute of Science, it was found that by grazing by livestock leads to lower carbon storage in soil compared to grazing by wild herbivores. According to the researchers, the difference in carbon storage is mainly on account of the use of veterinary antibiotics such as tetracycline on livestock. So it was found that when antibodies or these antibiotics are released into the soil in the form of drug and urine, they alter the microbial communities in the soil, which can be detrimental to carbon sequestering and can also impact the climate mitigation. So therefore, today, the use of such number of drugs is very much of essential, and also it should be used in a very harmonical way so that we can see that the soil in the livestock areas had 19% lower carbon use efficiency as antibiotics such as tetracycline can affect the microbial activity in the soil and can also linger in the soil for a longer period of time. And therefore, such number of antibiotics could be restricted and also could be leveraged and balanced well so that we could use it potentially in some of the extreme categorical situations, or else such number of livestock grazing can reduce the fertility of the soil in the coming times. Okay, so therefore it was saying about the carbon use efficiency, and also do remember about the component which is told to be the main important ingredient which makes the storage, or which storage makes the soil very much of less fertile, which can be referred to as the tetracycline. Okay, please do remember this particular antibiotic, very, very important. Okay, next. Why Indonesia is shifting its capital from Jakarta to Borneo? So we can see that Indonesia is all set to move its capital from Jakarta to Borneo over environmental issues such as being congested, sinking into seawater, and also being prone to earthquakes. So recently, the officials said that the new metropolis city will be a sustainable forest city that puts the environment at the heart of the development and will be a carbon neutral by 2045. So recently, this has been envisioned by Indonesian President Joko Widodo, who said the construction of the new capital as a nostrum for the problems in Jakarta, which also allows the country to start afresh. So today, Jakarta, a home to 10 million people, has been described as the world's most rapidly sinking city, which is estimated to be completely submerged by 2050. So officials claim that the main reason behind moving the capital is uncontrolled groundwater extraction, which has been exacerbated by the rising Java Sea due to climate change. Although it's just not water issues only, the air is also heavily polluted and it floods regularly due to clogged roads, and the estimated congestion cost is around $4.5 billion a respective year. So this prompted the president to plan for a new capital, which he wants to establish as the city of Nusantara, that will allow the construction of government buildings and housings from scratch. So the plan of Widodos to establish the city of Nusantara, an old Javanese term meaning archipelago, will entail constructing government buildings and housing from scratch. And initial investments were that of over 1.5 million civil servants would be relocated in the city. And some 2,000 kilometers northeast of Jakarta, through ministries and government agencies, are still working to finalize the respective number. So the head of Nusantara National Capital Authority said that the new capital city will apply the forest city concept, with 65% of the area being reforested. So therefore, the city is expected to be inaugurated by the time of August 17 next year, to coincide with Indonesia's Independence Day. Okay, so therefore today we could see that there are various number of associated activities that we can see with respective to such number of scenarios shifting the respective capital. So you can see the construction has already begun so that it can be fulfilled by the coming year. Okay, chalo next pe aate hain. The ideal track to run India's logistics system. So it's basically saying about the Indian Railways. So recently, the Union Budget 2023 has doubled the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan to states to rupees 10,000 crore as can be announced an outlay of rupees 2.5 lakh crore for the Indian Railways. So today, if you see about the railways, which is a pan-Indian network, offers an efficient and economic mode of logistic movement, enabling a coordinated and integrated logistic system. So therefore, to improve the India's logistic competitiveness, we can see that the improvement of the railways is a very must essential element with respective to freight services and also with respective to the bulk commodities associated with this particular railways. But today we could see that the railways has been faced with various number of challenges, be it infrastructural, be it operational, as well as connectivity challenges. So the effect is an increased burden on the roads, congestion, pollution, and the resultant logistic cost escalations. So an increase in containerized traffic over the last decade has also posing a direct challenge with respective to the Indian railways. So therefore, the absence of the integrated first and last mile connectivity by rail increases the chances of damage due to multiple handling and also increase the inventory holding cost. Today, if you see at the global world, railway systems are heavily investing in advanced railway infrastructures for quick and low cost container movement. For example, if I take about our nearer country like China, it uses special trains to carry containers that connect significant ports to the inland. So therefore, if I say about the PM Gati, so it provides the right platform to address the infrastructural challenges that have hampered the movement of the freight by rail. And therefore, the increase in the share of the railways in freight movement from 27% to 45% by 2030 is the target of this particular PM Gati Shakti. So therefore, there needs to be some of the ways to maintain the targets of the rail freight movement, be it continuously monitoring the existing projects, be it the PM Gati Shakti, improving the infrastructures, also dedicated freight corridors, be it the Western Freight Corridor, Eastern Freight Corridor, also establishing a special entity under the railways to handle intermodal logistics, which will help in addressing the first and the last mile issues faced by the railways. So therefore, today, if we have an integrated logistic infrastructures with first and last mile connectivity, which is essential to make rail movement competitive with roads and facilitate exports by rail to neighboring countries, even going to Nepal as well as Bangladesh. So therefore, this type of railway services is very essential with the intermediate activities that is happening in and around the country of India. And therefore, in this present scenario, the railways are a necessity today. Therefore, we can see that such number of connections are very essential to ensure the last mile connectivity through railways and even connecting the port cities with the respective railway lines. So therefore, it can directly make as an ideal track to run this particular India's logistic system. So that is all with the respective editorial. We have this 500 MCQs. Please do attempt these MCQs and do join our WhatsApp and Telegram channel for some further updates and some of the fantastic offers. So that's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind.